Washington. Robert, good morning.
Oh, good morning to you, Judy. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
You look beautiful.
Thank you.
Excited.
Thank you.
It's interesting working with a lady like her every morning. She has that vibe and, of course, that smile. And I hope you do wake up with that smile while watching us this lovely Monday.
Right.
Because one thing I learned, there's so much in the power of a smile. There's so much being positive amidst so many storms surrounding you.
Right.
I had taken long, Julie, to attend a concert.
Oh, you attended one?
I first attended Pastor Wilson Wugembe. I was in P7 VAC, and I think he was in Senior 6 VAC at this Kabowa, is it Christian Fellowship? Kabowa, titled Yellow. Vampitanga ya Yellow.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever. That was his first show and his first song.
Right.
From then, I had never in my life attended any concert.
Up to adult?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, due to influence of the better half, I attended Pastor, is it Joseph Ngoma's concert.
Right. But
I reached a point and I couldn't understand if that is how concerts are. There is a song he sang, I think the words I remember, Napurana Mama, Simanyi Tata, something, meaning I was brought up by a single mother.
Yeah. I
don't know if the entire crowd was single mothers or were children brought up by single mothers. Julie, have you ever attended worship and you see the entire flock in the spirit, people shedding tears? Women were singing that song and crying.
Because it's the truth, it's the reality.
Real crying, even going to their knees.
Right.
Now, my better half also grew up with Nakurana Mama. Looking by my side, I never seen such tears from. And it was the entire. So men need to do something.
Yeah.
That spoke so much to me as a man. The women who were the girls, you know how they dress for concerts. Who are, I saw them on their knees in Asina Tata, papa. Either men must do something, or women, I face in the camera, or women, you must step up your game. If the men are not the one who are wrong, you women watching us this morning, do all it takes to avoid being a single man. Please. And also men, do what it takes to be a father. Julie, people cried.
Because indeed it is what it is. Uganda, the biggest percentage of Ugandans are raised by single mothers. Fathers are out of the picture. They only appear on graduation ceremonies. But anyways,
actually, also, I feel ashamed as a man. I felt ashamed.
But I think, you know, let me just use it in terms of principle. Life is principled. Away from blame game, pointing fingers. It's like saying that without food you won't grow, or with food you'll grow. It's a principle. When you eat, you grow. When you don't eat, you die. So it's the same principle that if a man is out of his position, everything else will fall apart. It doesn't matter if the woman is in wrong, if whoever, the children are in wrong, if the children have gone haywire. No, in that, because many things go wrong. When a man leaves his position, many things fall apart. It's like a brick that gets out and everything crumbles. Will you blame all those bricks for falling for this one cornerstone for getting out of the position? It's because a man has left his position. And it's just principle.
The ladies, more so now that women are empowered, most women think empowerment goes with independence, and they believe being independent. Yet they forget that the role models they are copying, the likes of the let's say Siri Ogwa, the likes of Mama Miria Matembe, to mention a few, those are married women who are respecting, who are calm, who live titles.
The most empowered women and are stable have been raised by men and empowered by men. It's because their fathers were in the picture. You study the trend. Study the trend. It's because their fathers were in the picture. And they got the right men who empowered them, adding to what their fathers did. So it's a man leaving his position. But away from that conversation, it's something we'll always get back to. You can also share your views.
Let's save that for Friday.
You can also share your views to 0709602592. As we do live together, this is what Good Morning Uganda is about. But away from that, let's kick start off with updates and starting off with the local scene.
We begin with our returnees from South Africa who are at NALI, the National Leadership Institute. Now the former government chief whip and now national vice chairperson of northern Uganda in the NRM party, Dennis Hamsom Obua, called on Ugandans who returned to the country to explore available peace, security and wealth creation to rapidly fit in the new society. Obua was addressing returnees who are currently having orientation from the National Leadership Institute in Changwazi. The 1,030 Ugandans who are repatriated from South Africa are being oriented at the National Leadership Institute in Changwazi. The former government chief whip and national vice chairperson, NRM Northern, Dennis Hamsom Obua, facilitated and interacted with the returnees. The returnees have been evacuated from South Africa following xenophobic attacks. Obua's afternoon presentation was titled Service Above Self, a case study of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, intended to put into the picture the leadership of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. It is better for returnees to appreciate what has so far been achieved back home, mainly under the leadership of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni as the president. Although life might pose many questions and challenges for them now, there should be hope that all hasn't been lost. Obua asserted that under the leadership of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the country has developed. As they leave, engaging in wealth creation projects will be the game changer. National Referral Hospital commended the government for allocating 4.5 billion shillings towards the purchase of specialized medicines in the 2026-2027 national budget. The Director Mulago National Referral Hospital, Dr. Rosemary Byanyima, said the additional 4.5 specialized medicines to 29 billion shillings in the financial year 2026-2027 national budget. The sector that is under human capital development was allocated 5.23 trillion, down from 5.87 trillion allocated in the previous year. However, she said there is still a huge gap to realize the 100 billion required to adequately cover the budget for specialized medicines. Other aspects that need critical attention in order to improve specialized treatment countrywide include training of super specialized human resource, investing in purchase of equipment, and better pay for specialists. Nevertheless, strides have been made. Specialized treatment is a priority in this year's national budget to reduce expensive medical referrals, reduce reliance on foreign care, and boost universal health cover. A total of 2,206 UPDF recruits completed a 43 weeks of basic military training at Olilim Training School in Katakwi District. The graduates, including 364 female trainees, passed out after undergoing intensive training in military skills, discipline and patriotism. The ceremony featured a military parade with commanders and guests following the national pass-out ceremony presided over by President Yoweri Kaguta through a live broadcast. Representing the Chief of Defense Forces, the commander of the 3rd Infantry Division, Major General Wilberforce Serunkuma, congratulated the recruits upon completing the training. Serunkuma commended the cooperation between the UPDF and the surrounding communities, saying it has contributed to success of the training program. He also encouraged commanders to intensify outstanding trainees for further military development. The new soldiers were urged to uphold discipline, patriotism, and protect themselves against HIV/AIDS as they begin their service. The commandant of Olilim Training School, Lieutenant Colonel Eria Mogasa Katorogo, said the recruits successfully completed the regular basic military course intake of 2nd of 2025 to 2026. He challenged them to maintain discipline, professionalism, and integrity throughout their military career. Some of the graduates expressed commitment to serving and protecting the country after completing the demanding training. St. Peter's Church of Uganda in Naguru came alive as Christians gathered to welcome the Bishop of North Karamoja Diocese, the Right Reverend Bishop Ayisu Simon Akol, on a pastoral visit to strengthen friendship with the Karamojong community living and working in and around Kampala. The pastoral visit provided an opportunity for the bishop to interact with Christians away from their home region, while encouraging them to remain committed to serving within the communities they live in. Bishop Ayisu presided over the main English service and later one conducted in Luo and Karamojong language. The service attracted a large congregation of Karamojong faithfuls. The choir, co-led by Karamojong children from Katwe, Kampala, filled the church with praise and worship. In his sermon, Bishop Ayisu emphasized love, unity, forgiveness, and reconciliation as essential values for building strong families, peaceful communities, and sustainable development. State Minister for Karamoja Affairs, Davinia Anyakun, urged parents to invest in the moral and spiritual upbringing of children, describing them as the future leaders and upon whom both the Karamojong community and Uganda's development depends. Members of the congregation welcomed the visit, which they claim has strengthened the bond among Karamojong families living in and around Kampala. Now, that brings us to the end of our local stories this morning. Let's see what Julie has for us on the international scene.
That's a beautiful
I
video.
doubt if you're fit enough to do that dancing.
Oh, I can. I can. If I can dance Chizindo.
I don't know what that is.
Chizindo is from Kabale.
Dance,
it means you jump the hills of Kabale.
But it's also must
it's energetic.
Either you must perform the dance before eating or after a heavy meal.
Very interesting. Meanwhile, interesting news is that Chisanja No Sleep is very active as Dr. Barrio Munsi made an announced visit to Mbara Hospital, where he found complaints indeed to be proved right by patients and caretakers. After that surprise inspection, and he uncovered allegations of negligence, extortion, drug shortages, and of course poor patient care.
Did he make some arrests?
He ordered investigations to take shape.
I like the new local government minister.
Stockholm, yeah.
When he reached and the road, there was something like Maram, not Maram. When he counted students, you say you have 800, you have 270. Let's go with you, you know?
I know. Naenga Chisanja No Sleep is in action and in motion. We definitely wait what the first 100 days look like. But looking at what we have on the foreign scene, we're starting off with rather sad news. At least 27 people have been killed and 8 left critically injured after a fire tore through a bar in Bangkok's popular Chatuchak district in Thailand. That is as said by Thailand's Prime Minister. Firefighters were called to the scene just after midnight on Monday and discovered patrons fleeing through the flame-enveloped front door of the venue. Eyewitnesses say that the fire started near the bar's stage and spread rapidly, cutting power and filling the room with smoke. Footage posted on X shows flames blasting out of the bar as people are seen running out, some screaming and some falling over. The official cause of the fire is still under investigation, said Prime Minister Anutin Chanivaruku. Firefighters arrived at the scene just after midnight, reportedly after a passing driver saw the venue on fire around 23:30 local time. He told local news outlet The Daily News that he leaped out of his car and broke windows to help people. 2 people escaped. The Prime Minister told reporters that he had spoken to a musician who was performing when the fire started, who recounted what happened. He said that there was a fire at the cutout switch And after that, things happened very quickly. There was a blasting and everybody tried to flee from the smoke and flames, he said. Now let's move on. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, a close ally of U.S. President Donald Trump, passed away at the age of 71. He died on Saturday evening following a brief and sudden illness, according to his office. Elected to the Senate in 2002, Graham, the South Carolina politician, was one of Washington's most influential voices on foreign policy, often pushing for U.S. military intervention overseas. Donald Trump said Graham was a true American patriot who would be greatly missed. Preliminary findings from the medical examiner suggest that Graham's death was caused by a rupture of his aorta, a key artery in the heart, his spokesperson said in a statement. Graham had just returned from Kiev, where he met Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Friday. There were no known health concerns ahead of his trip. Trump told NBC News that he had spoken with Graham hours before his death, and the senator sounded great but a little tired. Graham was previously a vocal critic of Donald Trump, calling him a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot in 2015. The next year, ahead of the 2016 presidential election, he said, "If we nominate Trump, we will get destroyed, and we will deserve it." Now let's get to the continent. The South African government says more than 53,000 foreign nationals have been deported or repatriated since launching a migration management campaign 5 weeks ago. Most were from Malawi, Zimbabwe and Mozambique, officials say, and the number is likely to rise as repatriations and deportations continue. South Africa is carrying out one of its biggest crackdowns on undocumented migrants in years, following weeks of anti-immigration protests that have seen violence, intimidation and looting. Protesters have been demanding tighter border controls and mass deportations, accusing migrants of contributing to high unemployment, rising crime rates and collapse of public services. The UN has warned against using migrants as scapegoats for South Africa's socio-economic challenges. Anti-migrant activists have threatened to stage weekly protests to pressure the government until their demands are met. There are fears the protests could turn violent. The demonstrators had set an unofficial deadline of 30th June for all undocumented migrants to leave the country, which has seen many foreigners leave the escape violence and intimidation. Several countries, including Ghana, Nigeria, Uganda and Kenya, have flown their citizens home in recent weeks. Well, that ends the stories of what we have on the foreign scene. Let's take a quick look at what the headlines look like this morning. That is in the dailies. Robert.
Well, the new vision, UPDF troops to deploy in Gaza. We export peace as Uganda.
Okay. Okay.
U.S. President Donald Trump calls Museveni over mission. And government cracks the whip on corrupt district officials. MP cars, government releases 58.7 billion. And remember, it is not mandatory that you buy the car.
Oh.
That money is you either choose or not.
Interesting.
Now, moving on. The future, what next? Hey, for Uganda Human Rights Commission, Wangadia. You saw the resignation later.
I did.
And the dossier thereafter. Now, still we have CDF Commission's new aircraft. And the new vision gives you details on Karuma Bridge Agreement. These and more when you get yourself a copy.
Right. Looking at the Citizen this morning, Sefu's advice on rallies, Gen Z and parenting. That's the headline there, but other stories to look into: development finance will shape Vision 2050, and 420 million gas to liquid project now awaits government nod, and also global cancer burden set to soar without urgent action. Those are some of the stories in the Citizen. Now, looking at the Gazette as of the 10th day of July 2026, table of contents, but the headlines, rather the notices to pay heed to We do have Angufiru Beatrice, who is now an advocate of the High Court and has been appointed to be a commissioner for oaths under the above-mentioned act for so long as she continues to practice as such advocate and the commission is not revoked. This is given on the 23rd day of December 2020 by the Chief Justice, then Alfonso Chigamoy Owinyidolo, and another notice to pay heed to an mining exploration license given to Karotnova Minerals Company Limited of Mawanda Road, Kamocha, Kampala for a period of 5 years, effective 12th November 2025. As of the 26th day of November 2025 by the Honorable Dr. Ruth Nankabirwa Sentamo, then Minister of Energy and Mineral Development. Also another license given to Bright Blue Mining Uganda, and that is at Kona Plaza, Luzira Central, Nakawa Division for a period of 4 years, effective 10th July, dated on the 21st day of July 2025 and signed by the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, then that is Honorable Dr. Ruth Nankabirwa. Bringing us to the end of what we have as updates this morning. Definitely we are getting into a conversation that you need to participate in, because we want to know your opinion as we also share what we think about these things, chewing on issues that affect all of us as Ugandans. So just make sure that you save the number 0709-602-592 for WhatsApp, but also follow at UBC TV Uganda to be able to follow the conversation. Good morning.
Live.
A very good morning to you. It's a brand new week. Welcome back from the weekend. And National Unity Platform and Alliance for National Transformation are set to join IPOD as confirmed by the IPOD Council. And they're in Jema, and the People's Progressive Party shall withdraw from IPOD as they do not have representation in Parliament. Good morning to you. It is Good Morning Uganda and you're watching UBC TV. We come to you live from the Nile Avenue. My name is Julie F. Nantaba with Robert Chirabo Nyonyitana. Robert, good morning.
Oh, good morning to you, Judy. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
You look beautiful.
Thank you.
Excited.
Thank you.
It's interesting working with a lady like her every morning. She has that vibe and of course that smile, and I hope you do wake up with that smile while watching us this lovely Monday.
Right.
Because one thing I learned, there's so much in the power of a smile. There's so much being positive amidst so many storms surrounding you.
Right.
I had taken long, Julie, to attend a concert.
Oh, you attended one?
I first attended Pastor Wilson Bugembe. I was in P7 VAC. And I think he was in Senior 6 VAC at this Kabowa, is it Christian Fellowship? Kabowa, titled Yellow. Bampitanga, yeah, Yellow.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever. That was his first show and his first song.
Right.
From then, I had never in my life attended any concert.
Up to adult?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, due to influence of the better half, I attended Pastor, is it Joseph Ngoma's concert.
Right.
But I reached a point and I couldn't understand if that is how concerts are. There is a song he sang, I think the words I remember, Nakulana Mama, Simanyi Tata, something, meaning I was brought up by a single mother.
Yeah.
I don't know if the entire crowd was single mothers or were children brought up by single mothers. Julie, have you ever attended worship and you see the entire flock in the spirit, people shedding tears? Women were singing that song and crying.
Because it's the truth, it's the reality.
Real crying, even going to their knees.
Right.
Now my better half also grew up with Nakulana Mama. Looking by my side, I never seen such tears from. And it was the entire, so men, we need to do something.
Yeah.
That spoke so much to me as a man. The women who were the girls, you know how they dress for concerts, who are, I saw them on their knees, Nasina Tata, Papa. Either men must do something or women I face in the camera. Or women, you must step up your game. If the men are not the one who are wrong, you women watching us this morning, do all it takes to avoid being a single mother. Please. And also men, do what it takes to be a father. Julie, people cried.
Because indeed it is what it is. Uganda, the biggest percentage of Ugandans are raised by single mothers. Fathers are out of the picture. They only appear on graduation ceremonies. But anyways,
actually,
also,
I feel ashamed as a man. I felt ashamed.
But I think, you know, let me just use it in terms of principle. Life is principled. Away from blame game, pointing fingers. It's like saying that without food you won't grow, or with food you'll grow. It's a principle. When you eat, you grow. When you don't eat, you die. So it's the same principle that if a man is out of his position, everything else will fall apart. It doesn't matter if the woman is in wrong, if whoever, the children are in wrong, if the...
If you want to have a teen, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
Commissioner General, to invest in taxation. When people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo, clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887 and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Booza Commissioner.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda. Welcome back from that short break. And if you're just joining us, you're welcome. This is Good Morning, Uganda. You are watching UBC TV. We come to you live from the Nile Avenue. If you started the show with us, thank you so much for allowing us to start the morning with you. Now, it's yesterday made 60 days since President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni was sworn in for the next Chisanja. And just after he was sworn in, he emphasized again on Chisanja no sleep. And even since he elected the cabinet, he indeed pushed the message of Chisanja no sleep. Even at the reading of the budget, he emphasized Chisanja no sleep. And it's something that the next 5 years indeed are carrying all through. But insofar the 60 days that have transpired since he was sworn in, what do we expect altogether as Ugandans in the first 100 days? 40 left to make the 100, but what do we expect? And after 100 days of Chisanja Hakuna Kulala, what tangible results do you expect in service delivery and governance as a Ugandan? Share your opinion to 0709 602592 and onto our X handle at UBC TV Uganda. The hashtag on there is UBCGMU. Now allow me get maybe a couple of examples from here and there to just show you how serious and intense this is. I'll start off, of course, with Honorable Justine Namere. If you follow her on her social media, she put up a post where she said, Tewali Budde, no time for nonsense. We want service delivery, period. That is how strong her message is. And therein it says, 4 districts so far finished, as she is on a district tour with the Honorable Minister Balam Barugahara. And there she said, 142 to go. We shall get every corner. Thieves, beware. We are not polite. We cannot be intimidated. And those doing a great job, we shall support you to even serve better. That is a message from Honorable Justine Namere. Robert and I have just chewed on Honorable Chris Bariomunsi, who had a surprise visit at Mbarara Hospital and ordered an investigation. Last week, Honorable Balam Barugahara was in Mbale where he arrested a headmaster of a school after the headmaster reported 184 students in his in a particular class, and Honorable Balam Barugahara counted them himself, and there were 105. Only. So with all the activity going on, ministers are busy left, right and center. As a Ugandan, after the first 100 days, what do you expect, especially in line with service delivery? Robert, this is when I engage you. So far, how do you feel? 60 days gone so far, 40 left.
Julia, I must be very honest. I'll begin by saying there is light at the end of the tunnel if we decide to go through the tunnel entirely.
Interesting. Go through the tunnel entirely. Okay.
There is light at the end of the tunnel if we decide to go through the tunnel entirely. Because they'll tell you that this tunnel begins from this place, but it has to end at this place. Now, entering a tunnel is a choice, because not everyone dares to go through a tunnel. Many will fear. But also, moving through the tunnel till the end, very few can persist to make it that way. Some will enter. When you were young boys, we used to love going into some of these tunnels. You reach a point, you go out. You go out. Now, the light at the end of the tunnel, you will not see it. I must say I'm very happy that we've entered the tunnel. We've not feared, we've dared. The question is, are we going to walk till the end of the tunnel? How have we entered the tunnel? His Excellency, his maiden speech, saying, Chisanja no sleep, Chisanja no corruption. That alone was a message. instructing Ugandans to enter the tunnel. But it wasn't the first time.
Okay.
We had Chisanja, Hakuna Mchezo. We've had these catchy phrases almost every 5 years. A catchy phrase comes up. His Excellency is telling you, I've given the lead, enter the tunnel. But most of the times Ugandans have said in Thai, if you're to go, you go there. And he's been a lonely wolf in one way when it comes to the fight against corruption. Now, this time, we've all been craving and saying, but you see, you get a silverfish. There's another name for silverfish.
Okay.
No.
Is it?
When I remember to come along. You get these, how do they call them, KJ?
I'm not so sure.
My dictionary has disappointed me. Now, we want to see not even the tilapia, but we want to see the Nile perch. If please, you can even go to the crocodiles and the hippopotamus. Now, they got the hippopotamus. Who can, or who dare thought that Parliament would one day be a crime scene? And with the tape, scene of crime, in such a big office. We entered the tunnel. The question is, because that was our flagship of this Chisanja, to show that if they can go there, please don't tamper. I want to ask Ugandans watching us, regards that, are we moving through the tunnel? Have we stagnated somewhere in the tunnel? Or are we moving? We saw Honorable Baram Malgahare, Honorable Justin Amede, Dr. Chris Wariomosi, and others. We saw, when it comes to which ministry is this? We've seen changes. People suspended ministry, I think, of works. We saw the PS of some ministries still suspended. We've seen
Internal affairs.
Internal affairs. But this is not okay. The magnitude is quite now big. Then a net has been cast. If it was in a swimming pool or in a fish pond, now we've cast the lake. We've cast the net on a lake. It has got quite a huge fish for us Ugandans. The issue is, are we going to take all the fish and serve it to the people it's eaten? Or are we going to stay along the way? Some of the fish finding its gaps in the net. You know, the fishermen will tell you, the net may have a hole somewhere. And the fish you think you've gotten slides through.
In other words,
you can get the fish to the shore, and someone says, hey, what kind of fish is this? This one looks so nice. And that person picks it and gives it another opportunity to live.
In other words, shall the fish end up on your plate?
Now,
of feasting?
I've tried to give my submission that way.
Right. And what we're looking at, in case you're just joining in, after 100 days of Chisanja Hakuna Kulala, what tangible results do you expect as a Ugandan in service delivery and governance? Do share your opinion to 0709 602592, that is via WhatsApp, and also our X handle at UBC TV Uganda, and the hashtag is UBCGMU. Now allow me also just to show you how serious this Chisanja is and the different appointments, of course, the president has been making here and there. We have the new media center boss, that is Alan Kasuja, and he took to his social media as well to give an update on what media center has been like over the past couple of days that he has been the boss at that side. And it reads, an update, not braggadocio, though we don't believe government institutions should win in silence. I took office over 3 months ago. We had no camera at Uganda Media Center, save for a decade-old kind donation from the Chinese. No still cameras either. things are different now. We now have the biggest of the best kit, and we are still adding to it. We have a proper production arm, photographers, video and audio editors, drone pilots, directors, producers. For the first time, we can also go live from anywhere in the country. We have built a regional and global network that cuts across newsrooms, research, thought leadership and security. Our ambition is to build the most efficient, responsive and effective government communication service on the continent. Our posture, no, this is not PR or marketing, it's nation building. And indeed, we will all agree the first couple of days that Alan Kasuja has been the boss at the media center, it's been active in a way that we'd never seen it. Also speaking into Chisanja, no sleep, because it's been in this season, as we've seen it since the new government started taking shape over.
Maybe we should ask ourselves a question. What do Ugandans want to see? You know, you can do certain things as a father in the home, thinking they're the priorities.
Okay.
Yet actually the children and the mother want certain things to be done. For you, you're buying furniture in the sitting room, making it AC and all that. The mother feels that bedroom of the children is what you should concentrate in.
Right.
She wants her children to sleep better. They were in double deckers. It's like, now this is a big house, they should sleep better. For you as a father, you just do things. Now, this is what Ugandans want. Ugandans want an effective health service. And what I mean by effective, you see, some Ugandans don't want to follow the president, yet they want to speak on issues of the nation. They don't want to follow real news. They want news but entertainment. Now, when we talk of wanting effective service delivery, it is not just saying that there is not medicine in hospitals. You've just seen how much has been added to specialized medicines and how much government is putting there. This is a lot of money. It may look like a drop in the ocean. Give them good health. Go to education. Ugandans want a child to go in a school. If it's a public school, study. Have the roads above all security. Now I'll ask you, what hasn't government done of all of this? The answer is, it has done all of them. What is lacking is effectiveness. You see, Ugandans, sometimes they love to speak. And I always don't forget the late Bale Francis. I didn't see him for a very long time, as many could who have worked here. But the little time, there are words he told me. He said one, never let success get to your nerves. You're in a field where success may easily drail you off. But he also told me that if you've not researched, you have no right to speak. The other thing I remember he told me is, Robert, first understand the whole problem. Now, of late, what I've liked, and I think it is addressing the needs of Ugandans, are ministers, are government officials showing Ugandans that actually government has been doing this, but your sons and daughters have been frustrating government. Did you see the bridge Honorable Baraman and Honorable Namere visited? The man is saying he's gotten soil, typical soil. The bridge is supposed to be somewhere, he's put it somewhere else. The structure and the nature is totally different. But government has allocated money for that bridge and a particular design. What do you make of a school you just mentioned? How many do you have? How many do you say?
105 versus 184.
You know? And remember, now, if you look at all government schools in the district, you may find that each of the school, that is the technique. Now, government could be paying for about 1,000 ghost students. Yet that money could be used to substitute something to education. Now, by and large, Ugandans want to see these thieves arrested.
And brought to book.
And brought to book. That is what I call, we enter the tunnel, we complete the tunnel. Because entering the tunnel is no longer exciting Ugandans, Judy. There are many cases that some I may not mention on camera. Some we can mention. There are cases that have happened. People have been arrested. Their homes have been searched. We've gone with the cameras. Their homes have been searched. We've read the stories. Reporters, we've gone to the field. You hurry, the editor calls you and says, Chiraba, I need that story. Where are you? Get on a border. Some even get accidents rushing, not to miss that story. And at the end of the day, someone meets you and says, Chiraba, I saw you in this case. Biagwerawa. You scratch your head. We enter the tunnel. Ugandans have now known that government ebintu ebikola sente ziteekayo naye zibbibwa bubbibwa. I wanted to say that in Uganda to emphasize it. That government of Uganda, this money I've read today, this money I've read, this Mulago Hospital. Listen carefully. Mulago National Hospital has commended government for allocating 4.5 billion shillings towards the passage of specialized medicines in 2026-20. Now it says this brings the budget to specialized medicine to 26 billion shillings. This is not forgery. 26 billion shillings. Now, if out of 26 billion shillings, drugs of 1 billion are bought, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the chairman of PLU, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, want good for a Ugandan. The framers put this budget, but guess what happens? Your daughter, your son is stealing. I'm not saying this is the actual sense, but remember the first director of Mulago Hospital, the previous, before Dr. Rosemary Wanyima came in, what happened? These are things we are asking. What happened to him? He was interdicted because of what? But where is that person?
Right. After 100 days of Chisanja Hakuna Kulala, what tangible results do you expect in service delivery and governance as a Ugandan? 0709602592. Send a WhatsApp message and share your opinion onto our X as well at UBC TV Uganda. The hashtag is UBCGMU. Robert, allow me get into some of the comments as we begin to roll the conversation out of the room. Faster government service delivery is what I expect. Stronger action against corruption, faster and implementation of development projects such as roads, electricity, and health services. Thank you very much. I see your name is TC. Thank you for being on the show. Good morning, Uganda. I really feel pleased and happy for the new Chisanja and the level of execution so far. If only it could continue at this pace of cracking down the corrupt, then we shall move a milestone towards development as a country. Bravo, Balam and Namere. This is Edson Mohanji in Entebbe. 100 days is mostly for setting structures and releasing funds. Big projects like PDM, roads and hospitals take 6 to 24 months to show real impact. The Hakuna Muchezo part is mainly about political will. Ministers being reshuffled, accounting officers being warned, and government programs being monitored directly from State House. Bravo to Team Balam and Namere. As of now, in 2026, we are actually at the end of the Chisanja. The focus now shifts to assessing, did PDM reach the parish? Are services better? Did security improve in hotspots? When all this is done, Ugandans will celebrate. This is Shaban Ali in Soroti. Thank you, Shaban, for being on the show. Good morning. There's nothing much Ugandans should expect because it starts with the economic policy and the budget. The budget that was read was fake, according to my own understanding. To fight corruption, it needs its fighters to have made enough analysis about the ways where it passes, who are the people that take it and when, but not acting by panicking or intimidations they should know. I am Mr. Katwech CJ Johnson in Kabowa, presidential aspirant 2031. I see you have a lot to say.
Now, first when someone talks about the budget, and I love the fact that he said, according to what he sees. I've just read something that was in the budget. And there is so much in the budget. The biggest challenge is effective implementation. Let me tell you, Judy, even with the little budget, you can call it, or the little allocations, you can call them. If we have effective supervision, if we have effective arrests, investigations, prosecution, sentencing, these monies can transform Uganda. I was looking at Honorable Minister Fred Byabakama. You know, have you noticed a shift in construction work? A shift. Some contractors, he mentioned of contractors who I think mafias were stealing money from them, then the road had halted. Mitiana, is it moving? That road you talked about. Now, you Ugandan, fellow Ugandans who is watching, if you bother to interest yourself in what is being unearthed, you will believe that road should have been finished so many years back. But because of what we are talking about today, that is why for me I will tell you, my biggest wish as a Ugandan is bring to book, prosecute, arrest, send these people to Chitalia, to Luzira, not on remand.
Right.
Not for them to come and get bail at police, they get bond, then they go and appeal, then all this drama. No. We need to set precedents. That is why for me, when I talk about, please don't get me wrong.
Right.
When I talk about our CDF, and I follow his tweets, some of them that mention areas, and I see action being taken. When I talk about the PLU, and I see how these young stars are coming out and saying, we shall work, we shall act. Uganda's biggest problem, people should not be deceived that it is little money. Okay, account effectively for the little money. That you gave us additional 29 billion for specialized medicines. We've bought the medicines. Right,
indeed. As Robert has rightly put it, we get into the tunnel, but are we getting out, or are we seeing the light to getting out and eventually having the fish on our plates?
Our cases die in Uganda.
Right.
At times, Julie, you also can't explain. Even when you go to the people, the authorities there, ask them, Deputy IGG, what happened to this and that? What happened? That we went, they also.
Well,
that cannot set
40 days
precedent.
Left to clock 100 days since the president was sworn in. Indeed, we are waiting to see what impact Chisanja Hakuna Kulala has so far had and what to expect in the next 4 years, as 4 years and a few months, of course, cutting off this year, as Uganda grows and continues to grow, but also we see change and save 10 trillion Uganda shillings from disappearing into corruption annually.
And holding
Ugandans,
people accountable at their jobs.
Right.
These issues of someone being absent forever. A doctor is in Chenjojo, but he goes to Chenjojo once.
And we close
Most of the time he's in his clinic in Kampala.
Interesting.
You know, corruption is not only stealing government money, but even not appearing on duty.
Not being in your position.
Not being in your position is also one of the highest levels of corruption. Government has increased salary for teachers. You're moonlighting.
Let's close it with a doctor here who says, greetings, I'm Dr. Bijirwa Innocent from Barara. I'm following closely, well done. After 100 days of Chisanja with no sleep and no corruption, we expect to see visible service delivery, stronger accountability, less graft, and citizens demanding real results, because slogans start the work, but systems must sustain the work. Good morning, Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax? How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
Commissioner General, to invest in taxation, when people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert and clear explanations. Booza Commissioner.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda. Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Yeah, my name's I'm called Mwesigwa Narcis. I'm captain of MV Broward. At the moment we are navigating from Broward Sands Lodge Kalangala to Entebbe. The weather today, we have moderate southwest wind with a little bit of rollings on the way, and a few restriction visibility of more of 200 meters. So that's it. My experience on Lake Victoria, I think this is my 8th year. I came to Lake Victoria in 2018. That's when I started here on Lake Victoria. I've moved on Lake Victoria, especially on south and part of central islands of Lake Victoria. That means from Jinja up to Bukakata. There's a lot of tourism attraction on this lake, and the one amazing one that caught my attention was the Nanziri Falls on Bukasa Island. So Bukasa Island is the second largest island on Sese Islands, Kalangala district actually. Because the first biggest one is Bugala, where we are coming from, and then Bugala is followed by that Bukasa for Kalangala district. But here in Central we have two. When we compare, like from Mukono, we have Buvuma. Buvuma is the bigger. Actually, Buvuma is second to Kalangala and then Bukasa. These are the islands I've gone to. Why did I mention Bukasa and Nanziri Falls? You can't expect that you can find waterfalls on these islands. But when we went to Bukasa, that's where we got the falls, and so amazing. Someone who have ever been to Sipi Falls, same as CP Falls. So it has a lot of history around it. If people know the history of Mukasa, that's where the thing came from. Basically, and also basically for tourism and marine, that's what caught my attention. Yeah. Challenges in yes.
What have you gained
out of working in marine sector, especially for these 8 years being in tourism? Yeah, I've earned a lot. One, social capital. I've known many people. Two, marine tourism has really changed my life. Managed to pay school fees for my kids. Yeah, basically that's it. That's the best things I've got, because my dream is education. So if I'm paying school fees for my kids, I really feel happy. Yeah. Yes? Challenges on Lake Victoria. Challenge number one, yeah. Challenge on Lake Victoria itself as number one, Victoria is uncharted water, by the way. So it makes navigation restricted, because now there's uncharted water, you have no permanent route to be avoided by fishermen. At times we do get inquiries about moving at night. But now moving at night here you can't, because of fishermen. Our lake is uncharted, but if it was like a chartered way designated here, fishing area, here is for the transport vessels, passengers, ro-ros, then you can move. But now you can't move at night. So those are the challenges. Also declines the movement. At times you can have bad weather. Then bad weather whereby it affects the movement. And then another challenge is professionalization of marine sector. Currently in Uganda, we don't have a known and accredited marine training institute by IMO. So, but to my understanding, the government is trying to work on it. Right now there are structures that have been set up around Entebbe at FTI for training mariners. So hopefully maybe in this financial year or next year, we think we will start having those trainings here. But at the moment, the only institute that is providing training for marine is in Kosi University. Kosi is offering nautical science. We call it nautical science in marine. So that's we have nautical in marine engineering and the nautical science. That's like navigation, like what I'm doing here, navigation, and then other concept of vessels. So that's it. But government needs to step up so that at least we have professionals. We professionalize our marine so that to generate more, because now people fear coming, those who know how marine operates really. So my request is government to step up to professionalize marine, so that we are marine training, so that to develop marine tourism. I think, yeah.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Good morning and much thanks for keeping it with us on UBC TV. Let's now talk business. The Uganda Development Corporation has renewed its call for investment in the agro-processing and value addition for the untapped potential in agricultural products that are exported in raw form. This was during a meeting with ministers in the Trade, Industry and Cooperatives Ministry, where UDC unveiled its new strategic direction and called for increased capitalization to accelerate industrial development.
Government's strategic investment arm, financing sectors where private investors are afraid to venture.
I want to thank you for the work you have done so far. Now let us move to the core sectors that actually the President has aligned for us, and for us to achieve the growth from 50 or 60 billion where we are today to 500 billion. It is extremely easy now because we have extra power, with the roads are there, the security is there. All we need is the funds to make sure that we implement these things.
The minister challenged UDC to broaden its investment portfolio and prioritize industries that process agricultural commodities into export-ready products.
Fruit and agricultural processing, let us put a little bit of more effort. From Kayunga, Tororo, as you go that entire belt of Busoga and Bukedi, we have so many pineapples, and yet we have huge markets in the Middle East and Asia. We don't even need to look at Europe. There is a lot of honey in Chigezi, Toro, Ankole, West Nile, northern Uganda, that is being put to waste. And these Swiss people that I met have just agreed with me that more than 40% of the honey that is on the European shelves and Asian shelves in the supermarkets, 40% is synthetic. Synthetic meaning that in laboratories. Our colleague in Parliament, former Minister Musa Echweru, has square miles of cassava, and there are other farmers in Teso. The entire north, women are producing shea butter.
Besides a series of successful projects in agro-industrialization, UDC is now seeking stronger government support to finance industrial projects capable of transforming local production into globally competitive products.
We went to Cabinet and asked for Cabinet to increase our capitalization to 5 trillion in line with the law, and Cabinet approved.
Over the past year, the board and management have undertaken an extensive strategic review of the corporation to ensure that UDC is fit for purpose.
And you have our support as the top management. We pledge our total support.
The discussions also highlighted UDC's 10 years of operation since the current UDC Act.
We are in collaboration with the ministry in discussions so that we can commemorate the 10 years anniversary, and we celebrate it around the Industrialization Day in November.
As Uganda pursues the tenfold growth strategy and Vision 2040, the next phase of transformation seeks to strengthen UDC's financial sustainability, expand its investment portfolio, build institutional capacity, and promote innovation as Uganda accelerates industrialization come 2040. Chris Buyondo, UBC.
Moving on, as Ugandan students increasingly navigate a choice between local and international curricula, the pressure to choose the right career path has never been higher. However, educators in the industry and experts warn that academic excellency alone is no longer enough to guarantee access in higher education or the professional world.
For example, you're working with a pregnant lady and you're the one...
Access International School in Chitende recently hosted the Next Steps Career Guidance Summit.
Okay, It's just your ability to do something, being passionate about.
The event brought together industry experts and students to redefine success beyond academic grades as they take on their careers.
You might be bright, yes, but you should have manners. Yeah, you shouldn't go to work in a person's hospital or wherever you're working and you're going to be the rude doctor, you're going to be the rude surgeon.
However much the qualifications I have, I may have all the PhDs, the master's degrees and all stuff, but if I have no character, I can't qualify for anything.
UBC's Wadulo Arnold Mark and other panelists emphasize the critical need for strong mentorship programs in Uganda's education curriculum to realize a productive workforce.
Destiny helpers mostly do the role of opening doors. Yeah? Now, mentors play the active role of guiding you on your day-to-day direction.
What I've seen people who pursue that dream is that they work on it. They don't just sort of say, yeah, I want to be the thing. They work on it.
For many parents, the decision to enroll a child in an international curriculum comes with a fear of being locked out of local opportunities. At Access International School, which offers a dual American and British track, Principal Anna explains that these paths are designed to be inclusive, ensuring students can transition into universities both at home and abroad.
After graduating at Senior 6, call it Senior 6 or Grade 12 as we call it in the international, then we get their transcripts equated with the Ministry of Education. We've done that before. And our first student who joined the university in German, we did the equating with the Ministry of Education. And in that way, the same results after equating with the Ministry of Education, they can join any university in Uganda.
The Next Step Career Guidance Summit seeks to address a very big gap in the transition to adulthood.
I think there's a very big gap between the transition from high school to University or Vocational Institute, with limited information, with maybe dictating from parents or...
These are the people that go to the university. The university welcomes all people from the various curriculums. So I believe that they have understood that to pursue success, it starts with a passion.
By engaging professionals from medicine to engineering, the summit encourages students as young as grade 9 to align their subject choices with their true passions.
The Uganda Council on Foreign Relations, UCFR, has officially marked its 10th anniversary by launching an ambitious 2026-2030 strategic plan. The roadmap seeks to transform the council into a premium independent think tank, bridging the gap between academic research and foreign policy. Our reporter attended the high-level launch in Kampala.
Founded in 2016, the Uganda Council on Foreign Relations began as a fleeting thought that has since evolved into a respectable non-partisan body. At a decade anniversary celebration, the Council's patron, Honorable Sam Kutesa, reflected on a world that has changed fundamentally since the Council's inception.
As the Canadian Prime Minister said in Davos, the entire world order as we knew it has collapsed. In the words of Chinua Achebe or the poet W. Yeats, whom he quoted, things have fallen apart.
He warned that the optimism of 2015 has been replaced by a collapsed world order where the UN Security Council is paralyzed and major alliances are in tatters. To navigate this volatility, the UCFR's new 5-year plan focuses on institutional strengthening and evidence-based research.
During the evaluation of our work, we found that because of resources, it was easier to do gatherings and policy briefs and conversations, but to conduct research needed quite a big resource envelope.
Moving beyond public dialogues, the Council aims to provide stakeholders with deep insights into thematic areas like peace, security, and economic integration. However, this vision requires significant resources with a projected budget of 3.4 billion shillings. Perhaps the council's most unique feature is its volunteer spirit. Currently, 99% of the staff are volunteers and interns from local universities mentored to become the next generation of diplomats. Wadulo Arnold Mark reporting.
Moving on, Vivo Energy Uganda has extended its clean cooking LPG program to more schools, with Nabisunsa Girls School becoming the latest beneficiary. According to Vivo Energy Uganda Managing Director Joanita Mokasa, the initiative is anchored on 4 key pillars aimed at improving operational efficiency, lowering cost, and advancing environmental sustainability. Let's take a look at this story.
Okay. My name is Joanita Mukasa Menya, and I'm privileged to serve in Vivo Energy as the Managing Director in Uganda. And today we are at Nabisunsa Girls School, where we've celebrated their Sports Day, but above all, we've celebrated their transition to the journey of clean energy, which has been a government initiative for the longest time. But we are, being the market leaders, we are leading the way in schools. And today we are at Nabisunsa Girls School, launching the clean energy, giving them gas, transitioning them from cooking with firewood and cooking with gas. So today for us, this is an initiative that sorts out many angles of life. Number one, it sorts out the fact that meals can be delivered on time and with speed. It sorts out the fact that the people who have been exposed to firewood are going to reduce the exposure to respiratory diseases because of clean energy. It sorts out the fact that clean energy right now is much cheaper than firewood, and it also has a big environmental aspect where we are going on with the sustainable program, where we are supporting the public and the community not to cut down trees and expose the world to global warming. So those are the 4 key elements, and this initiative was started in Budo, as you well know, but now we've gotten so many schools coming on board because they understand they understand what is is to really stop exposing the cooks and the people who cook the meals at school for thousands of children from respiratory issues, to expose them to late meals, to expose them to cost-effective meals and meals that are clean. So for us, clean energy is the future, and the government is we are working hand in hand with the government to get into the public schools such as this, to make sure that we start talking clean energy from the time the children are in school and the time they grow up to run their homes, knowing that clean energy is the source and foundation of sustainable living.
So far, how has been the response in schools ever since you started from Budo?
Yeah, since we started in Budo last year, the response has been very good. The schools understand the implication of clean energy, and they understand what it saves them, and they understand its implication on the environment. So the rest, we've been to more than 40 schools, transforming them from firewood to clean energy, and we've seen very good testimonies that we'll be running sometime to show the schools that we are doing the right thing going for the future.
Aside from providing the LPG to these schools or to the community, what other role is Vivo playing as far as civic education is concerned about the LPG or clean energy in the country?
Yeah, so as Vivo Energy, being the market leader, again, we play different roles when we come into a school like this. We teach the children, leaders, and the cooks and everyone who is responsible for running the kitchen. We train them on how to manage LPG. We train them on safety standards. We train them on all LPG standards that are required. We also train them on how to maintain, and we go and do the maintenance of the tanks ourselves and make sure we also equip the team with that knowledge, so that even in our absence, we are clear that in case of anything, they are able to sort out the situation in case of anything. But we've also put very, very stringent safety standards where we have automatic valves in case of a leakage, and there's a suspicion of a leakage, the valve would stop immediately. When there's a fire, the valve will stop at source. So we've invested in automation of the tanks into the kitchen, and we're also investing in training the teams that will work on LPG for the future and now.
Well,
And with that, we come to the end of our business stories. Let's now take a look at the Forex as of Friday, July 10th, 2026. Now, the US dollar was buying at 3,677.62 and selling at 3,687.62. The Great Britain pound was selling at 4,937.20, was buying and selling at 4,951.73. The euro was buying at 4,207.56 and selling at 4,219.37. The Kenyan shilling was buying at 28.42 and selling 28.54. The Tanzanian shilling was buying at 100.38 and selling at 1.41. Now we go to the Rwandan franc, which was at 2.49, buying and selling at 2.52. That is as of Friday, the 10th of July this very year. And with that, we come to the end of our business stories and the Forex. Up next, after this break, Julie will be doing the agenda. Keep it with us, please.
Of the day on UBC. Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah yo,
you can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax? How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
General, to invest in taxation. When people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads